Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 17th October 2024. So let's get started with our discussion and try to make notes of these important topics because this will be very useful to write your mains answers and even to clear your prelims also. So these articles are very important because I will be dealing from both prelims and mains point of view. Okay, let us see the first article, guys. So see this article. India, Pakistan avoid blaming each other at SCO summit. So we all know that from this October 15th and 16th, this Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting had been held in Pakistan, and finally Pakistan sent invitation to India. And initially India resisted to join this SCO summit, and finally our External Affairs Minister he participated in this SCO summit. And one more development in this meet is this year India and Pakistan, they avoid blaming on each other. So they didn't blame on each other in this SCO summit. That means if you see this statement, we can understand that there is going to be like increasing of bilateral relationship between India and Pakistan. So what is the keyword here? Keyword is SCO, that is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay, SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So from which subject you will be dealing with this? From GS paper 2 under international relations, and even from GS paper 3 under internal security. Why internal security? In our internal security we have a topic called as terrorism. So why this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, how it is related to terrorism? So in this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, we have an organ called as RATS. Okay, RATS is Anti-Terror Organization or Anti-Terror Unit under this SCO. So because of this, we can also connect this topic from your GS paper 3 under international relations. Oh, sorry, internal security. So what are the dimensions you have to see? You have to see about what is this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and you have to see members. So if you see the different sites in your Google, so some are saying 8 members, some are saying 9 members, and some are saying 10 members. So actually there are 10 members. So here we have earlier 8 members, and later on Iran added in 2023, and in 2024 Belarus also added. So Belarus is the new member of this SCO. So here there is a chance of getting a question in your prelims regarding members of this SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And not only members, you have to see why this organization was formed and what are the aims and objectives of this organization. And you have to see the present context of this summit in 2024. What are the highlights of the summit? And even there may be question on agenda of this summit, and why it is important from India point of view. Why it is important from India point of view this year 2024 summit. So these are the dimensions where UPSC can ask question in your mains, and you have to focus on all these dimensions. So now let us see this article. So Jaishankar and his counterpart, that is External Affairs Minister of Pakistan, that is Ishaq Dar, interact informally on the sidelines of this Shanghai Cooperation Organization during the first visit by our Indian Foreign Minister to Pakistan in 9 years. So earlier, who was the minister who went to Pakistan? That is Sushma Swaraj. After this Sushma Swaraj, yes, this person, that is External Affairs Minister, who is Jaishankar, he went to Pakistan for the meeting of SCO. Okay, now in this meet, we got like positive things than compared of the negative things that we thought. So if you see here, this Jaishankar role, what he played in this Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit in this 2024 was, so he represented India first, one important point. He represented India in this meet, and he also expected to emphasize India's stance on critical issues. So what are the issues that he focused? He focused on the first important thing is regional security. So in this regional security, he focused on addressing of terrorism. It is one of the major concerns of our India. So this is the one important thing which focused by Jaishankar. And next important area which he focused is economic cooperation. So he want to focus on improving of trade ties and as well as infrastructure development. And he also focused on cultural exchange as well. Especially he want to promote India's rich culture heritage in Central Asia, because Central Asia is very important for India. Why? Because of IMEC project. And next, and we are also increasing our presence in Europe. So for this, Central Asia will place a very important role. And if you want to ensure peace in West Asia, we can use the Central Asian countries. Okay, so for all these things, here Central Asia is very important, and we are using this Shanghai Cooperation Organization as a platform to improve our relationship with the Central Asian countries. And what is significance of this summit of this year 2024? So first one is we are focusing on strengthening of our regional security. We want to enhance our regional security, and especially we want to control this terrorism and as well as extremism in our country. And even as you all know that we are not having a good relations with even Afghanistan after Taliban came into power. So even we want to decrease this geopolitical tensions in Afghanistan and as well as some neighboring nations. So we are using this SCO as a platform for member states to collaborate with this counter-terrorism measure. So this is the first important significance of this year's summit to India. And next one here is we are also focusing on economic cooperation as well as trade. So the primary objective of this summit, it is to improve economic ties among these 10 member countries of this SCO. Especially we are focusing on increasing of trade and to get investment, and this one is to improve connectivity between these countries, and as well as we are focusing on economic resilience after this COVID-19 era, that is post-pandemic era. And we're also focusing on increasing of stability of the countries and as well as to improve prosperity of the countries. So this is a second important thing. And next one here is we are also focusing on diplomatic engagement. So especially our External Affairs Minister participated in this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and he is representing India in that platform. So visit of our External Affairs Minister to Pakistan since Sushma Swaraj attendance at the Heart of Asia conference in 2015. So in 2015, it was the last visit of our Indian delegates to Pakistan, and in 2024, our External Affairs Minister, he visited Pakistan. So here, at that time, Sushma Swaraj visited to show her attendance in Asia conference. But now, External Affairs Minister, he went to Pakistan to attend Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So on these areas also, there may be a prelims based question, guys. Okay, and once this External Affairs Minister who is showing his presence in this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which shows a significant potential for the dialogue between India and Pakistan, so that whatever the issues that we are having between India and Pakistan, we can address those, and we can engage even with the different other members, so that we can also use this multilateral platforms to address our bilateral issues between India and Pakistan. And from geopolitical context also, this summit is very significant for India. So this summit, which comes at the time of shifting geopolitical dynamics. So actually there is increasing of competition which is going on between the major powers. For example, US and China. And this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which allows India to strengthen its position in Central Asia, so that we can enhance partnership, especially with Russia, and even we can also counter this China, and even we can also have a chance of improving bilateral relation with Pakistan, because in this summit they didn't had any backlashing and they didn't fight regarding any issue. So this is the one positive thing that we can see that happened in this year's summit. So let us see some basic facts of this Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So here, if you see the agenda of this 2024, which talks about improving of trade and economic collaboration. Next one is counter-terrorism measures, and they're also focusing on environmental challenges as well. They want to focus on even sustainable development, and even they're focusing on socio-cultural ties. So if you see from India point of view, the same thing, like we can strengthen our relation with Central Asia, and we can also improve the bilateral relationship with Pakistan. And next one here is we can also focus on our security by increasing of counter-terrorism operations. So let us see some facts. So Shanghai Cooperation Organization originated from Shanghai 5. Initially only 5 members are part of this organization. So they are called as founding members. So when this was founded in year 1996, so which are those countries? China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. And later on other countries added like Uzbekistan. And later on India and Pakistan also added, and recently Iran added and Belarus added. So now totally the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is a 10-member organization. And this organization will be focusing on the important themes like improving of politics, trade and economy, research and technology, and as well as cultural exchange. Okay, that is the thing. And let us see the next article. Five nations back Canada in row with India. So what is happening between India and Canada? So whether we are improving relations or deteriorating relations? Yes, there is deteriorating of relation between India and Canada. So what might be the reason, do you know? So this article is talking about India-Canada relations. It is talking about India-Canada relations. So from which subject we will be seeing this article? From GS paper 2 under international relations. In the perspective of bilateral relationship between India and Canada. So what is the reason why there is deteriorating of relationship between India and Canada? So actually Canada is saying that in Canada what happened? So one Sikh leader, Nazar, he was killed, he was died. So Canada says that India is the reason, or India planned to kill him. So because of this what happened? So here India didn't accept this statement, and here the embassy of India and Canada, they had been stalled, and there is no proper communication between India and Canada from this incident from last 3 months onwards. So now what happened here is, what are the allegations which are made by Canada now? Here five nations alliance is supporting now Canada. So a grouping of Five Eyes alliance is supporting Canada, and these countries now they are against India. Okay, so because of this is the news. So what are the things that you have to see is, the first one here is, you have to know about this Five Eyes alliance, and this Five Eyes alliance had been increased to Nine Eyes alliance, and now it is 14 Eyes alliance. And you have to see the countries which are part of Five Eyes alliance, Nine Eyes alliance and 14 Eyes alliance. And you have to see what is the background of this alliance, why this alliance had been found, and what are the objectives of this grouping. So there will be a question for sure regarding this Five Eyes alliance in your prelims. So it may be based on the member countries, or it may be based on the objectives or the goals, etc. And from mains point of view, you can get question of 10 markers or 15 markers based on India-Canada relations. Okay, so now let us see this article in detail. So New Zealand, US, Australia and UK, they became 4th member of Five Eye countries to back Canada's position on diplomatic crisis that has broken out between India and Canada. Yes, what are the allegations made by Canada? That the reason behind the death of the Sikh leader Nazar is India. So these 4 countries plus Canada, they forms this Five Eyes alliance. So New Zealand, US, Australia and UK, they are now against India. They are supporting Canada now. So because of this is in news. So if you see some key points which are given in this article is, so whenever this kind of grouping of country which is supporting Canada, which are against India, means what happened? There will be further increasing of escalations and as well as tensions between India and Canada. And next one here is, yes, Five Eyes, they came under a same grouping and they are alleging against India. So what happened now, we can understand there is coordinated response from Five Eyes countries. So it underscores the shared commitment to democratic values, especially regarding justice, regarding human rights. So they are also trying to isolate India diplomatically. So if you see the members here, so here we have US, here we have Australia. So US and Australia, they are good friends of India. And US and Australia, they are also part of groupings where India is also present. For example, Quad, for example, G20. Yes. So despite of this good relations now, whenever these countries, they want to isolate India diplomatically. So will we continue the bilateral relationship between India and Australia or India and US? No. So this is also one cause of concern now, and we have to see how the India-US relations will change, or how India-UK relations change, or how India-Australia relations change in the context of this Five Eye Alliance. Okay. And next important point which is given in this article here is UK's confidence in Canada's judicial system, which highlights the importance of rule of law in international relations. So actually, after the death of this Nizar in this Canada, so they went for judicial proceedings. In that judicial proceedings, so they gave judgment against India. And UK is saying that yes, we have confidence in our Canadian judicial system. So we want to follow this and we want to support Canada. So UK is now supporting judicial system of Canada. And next one here is, yes, they are focusing on even civil rights within this Five Eye framework. And actually these five countries are collectively, they're standing against political repression, and even these countries now starting pressurizing countries like India. Okay, so because of this, what happened? They sometimes violate civil rights as well. So whenever these countries are coming as a group, and whenever they are pressurizing India to take some steps against the culprits who did this, but India is not accepting that. But how can India violate the civil rights of the people? Can't. So this is one important thing. And next one here is, we are also having expulsion of diplomats signifies a breakdown in dialogue. So actually, do you know about this embassy? So we have Canadian embassy in India and Indian embassy in Canada. So what happened once this kind of allegation which made against India? So India expelled. That means India sent back this Canadian diplomats from India back to Canada. And Canada also sent back Indian diplomats who are present in this Indian embassy back to India. That means expulsion of these diplomats happen. So whenever there is expulsion of diplomats, so is there any chance of making a dialogue between these two countries? No. So again, we can understand that there is breakdown in dialogue. So here this article is saying that if we want to reduce these tensions, we have to go for diplomatic engagement between India and Canada. And next one here is, there is always a political backlash will be happening in India. So if the present government which is in power is not accepting, obviously opposition party will be doing some debates and discussions which is going on. And now the INC, so opposition party is Indian National Congress, right? So INC party says that yes, the government need to maintain the credibility on the global stage. If this kind of allegations against India will happen, means globally the India soft power will be affected, and as well as globally India's name will be affected. So here we have to particularly focus on the human rights and as well as governance, and we have to stand for our values at the international arena. So this is the thing which is happening now in India. So if you see some facts regarding this Five Eyes alliance, so this Five Eyes, it is an intelligent alliance. It is an intelligence grouping. Which are the countries part of this Five Eyes? Australia, Canada, New Zealand, US, and as well as UK. So these are the countries which are part of this Five Eyes, and these countries, they came as a grouping by a joint cooperation. Okay, so in that cooperation, they agreed to share intelligence, that is information between these countries. And what are the features of this organization? So these partner nations, they will exchange a wide spectrum of intelligence. They want to share the information, and actually this Five Eyes alliance, they had been formed as Nine Eyes, and later on it became as 14 Eyes alliance. Okay, so Nine Eyes alliance, they formed with the addition of countries like Netherlands. In Five Eyes nations, we have 5 countries. 5 countries plus Netherlands, Denmark plus France plus Norway. It formed 9 ice alliance. To this 9 ice alliance, again 5 countries they joined, and that formed 14 ice alliance. Belgium, Italy, Germany, Spain and Sweden. So there may be a very high chance of getting question regarding 5 ice alliance, which are the members of this, which are the members of 9 ice alliance, and which are the members of 14 ice alliance. Okay. And let us see the next article. Title says Center raises EMSP of wheat, 5 other Rabi crops for 2025 to 2026. So what is the keyword? Keyword is MSP. MSP is nothing but minimum support price. So in which subject you will be studying this topic? In GS paper 3 under economy. So what is MSP? So what is MSP? Okay, before sowing itself, government will be announcing the price of certain crops, that is called as MSP. MSP is nothing but the government will be purchasing the food grains from the farmers directly at the price, that is called as MSP. Okay, so here for how many crops government will be giving this MSP? For how many crops? 20, 22, 23, 24. Again confusion. Okay, so who will calculate this MSP? CACP. Who will approve? Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, CCEA. It is very important. On this also, earlier you got question in 2021 prelims. Who will approve and who will recommend? Okay, next. On what is the formula for calculating this MSP? Formula. A2 plus FL plus plus one more thing will be there. C plus A2 plus FL. Next, what are the dimensions you have to see? What are the problems or challenges of implementation of MSP? And you have to see what are the measures can be taken to control these problems. So if you cover all these things, then your economy point of view will be covered here. So now let us see the context here. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, CCEA, increased minimum support price for Rabi crops. That is like 150 rupees per quintal of wheat. So what is MSP? MSP is nothing but it is a price at which government will be purchasing the crops from the farmers to insure them against any sharp fall in farm prices. So especially government has an aim of doubling of farmers' income, and the target was like 2024, but that target had not been achieved. So to increase the farmer income and to increase the money that they are getting, okay, so to decrease the negative things on farmer, like if suddenly the sharp fall of price happens, means what happened here, farmer will be getting losses. So to get the insurance to the farmers against the sharp fall of farm prices, government will be announcing this MSP even before sowing the seeds by the farmer. So here it is based on the recommendations of CACP, that is Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices. CACP will be recommending this price, and who will be announcing, that is CCEA will be announcing that. So here how many crops are covered? So there are 22 crops are covered, and for one crop, for sugarcane, they will be giving FRP, that is fair remunerative price. So totally for 23 crops, government is providing this MSP. So here you have to see like which are the kharif crops, which are the rabi crops, and which are the calendar year crops to which MSP will be provided. So actually in 2019, there was a question in the prelims UPSC that consider the following crops, for which of the following crops, which of the above crops MSP is given by the government, and they gave 7 to 8 there, and you have to identify. So here, if you remember which are the Kharif crop, which are the Rabi crops, which are the calendar year crops, then you can easily understand, and you can easily remember them. Okay, and even in your geography also, especially in Indian geography, you will be studying about these soils, crops in India, like that. So there you will be seeing different types of crops grown in India. So there exactly you have to know Kharif crops and Rabi crops. So from Indian geography point of view, if you see the previous questions, 4 to 5 times from 2015, they asked this kind of similar question, like identify which of the following are Kharif crops, identify which of the following are Rabi crops. So here, if you see this table, you can even cover that Indian geography point of view as well. So Kharif crops which are getting this MSP are paddy, jowar, bajra, ragi, maize, ahar, moong, urad, cotton, groundnut, sunflower, soybean, sesame, and niger seeds. Especially, you will be confusing with these things. And Rabi crops, you know, wheat, barley, gram, masoor, rapeseed, mustard, safflower, and torai. And calendar crops means nothing but they require 1 year time to get that crop. So we have copra. Copra is nothing but coconut, and after getting that coconut, we will be going for de-husked coconut. For that also MSP will be given. Next one is jute and sugarcane. Sugarcane, they are giving FRP, not MSP. So what is the difference between MSP and FRP? So what is the difference between MSP and FRP, guys? MSP and FRP. What is the difference? MSP is nothing but if you are having a farmer, so FCI under Government of India or FCI will be purchasing grains from this farmer, right? And whatever the price which is given by the government directly to the farmer, it is called as MSP. So here we have a sugarcane farmer. Okay. So he is growing sugarcane and he is selling sugarcane to sugar company, right? Sugar company. So the amount of money should be paid by sugar company to farmer is called as FRP, and this price will be decided by Government of India. Okay, clear? So sugar cane companies or sugar companies amount of price that will be given to the sugarcane farmers is called FRP, and here MSP directly government will be purchasing this food grains from the farmers. So this is the basic difference between MSP and as well as FRP. Okay, so what is the importance of this MSP? Why we have to give this MSP? For ensuring income security. So MSP guarantees farmers a minimum price for their crops so that they will be getting some stable income, so that they will be protecting from the market price fluctuations. And second one here is to ensure price stability. We don't know, whenever there is increasing of supply of food grains in the market, then what happened? There will be decreasing of price. If the supply of food grains to the market is less, there will be increasing of price. Okay, so always there will be uncertainty or unpredictability of the price for the goods in the market. So if you go even once, for example, harvest is started today, so if the people they are taking harvest today to the market, they will be getting more amount of price. For example, if they are taking after 1 day or 2 days or at least after 10 days, the price will be automatically decreasing. So the price in the market will be varies even on the day wise as well. So because of this, who will be getting loss? Farmer will be getting loss, obviously. So to ensure farmer, MSP is given by the government. And next one is, if government is providing MSP, it will be encouraging the farmers, and farmers will be getting motivated to go for growing of that so and so crops, so that we can increase agriculture productivity, and obviously that will leads to ensuring of food security. If farmers are not growing these crops, then how this FCI will be buying the food grains from the farmers? How it will be ensuring PDS system, that is public distribution system? No. So if you want to ensure food security, obviously government need to take some steps to motivate the farmers to grow these crops. especially at least staple crops like wheat, rice, etc. And let us see what are the issues with India's minimum support price. So what are the issues? So whenever government is announcing this MSP before sowing of the seeds, so farmers will be getting motivated and they will be growing only that crops. That will lead to MSP related monoculture. And next one here is, yes, procurement focus also. The current MSP regime is primarily aiming at fulfilling of requirements of National Food Security Act. For example, if they are getting the amount which is required, government cannot ensure MSP for everyone. So this is also one important problem. And next one here is, because of this MSP, so the crops which are dominating in our country is wheat and as well as paddy. Okay, and especially even in water less areas also they are going for growing of rice. So rice is water intensive crop. So because of growing of rice even in the less water available area, that what happens, leads to further more depletion of groundwater resources, that will leads to limiting of water or water scarcity will happens. And even what happens, soil salinity will be also happens, right? And even that leads to decreasing of fertility of soils. And this one is, even there is ineffective implementation of this MSP. So according to Shanta Kumar committee of 2015, so this report says that only 6% of farmers, they are getting benefit from this MSP, and that means 94% of farmers in the country, they do not receive intended advantage of MSP. So only just for 6% government is giving MSP, so what is the use? So this is also one of the important challenge of MSP implementation in our country. Clear? And say this article, army to commemorate 62 years of Battle of Walong with China. So what is the keyword that you have to focus? You have to focus on what is this Battle of Walong. And this year we are celebrating 62nd anniversary. So here there is a chance of getting question in your prelims, like recently Battle of Walong is in news. It is between which and which country? Okay, so like that also you will be getting a question. So just see the facts of that. So Battle of Walong was the only counter attack of India. So it's especially in this 1962 war between India and China. So India went for this battle just to stop the movement or progression of this PLA, that is People Liberation Army of China, to enter into India. And at this battle is a very successful, because so we stopped the movement of this army of China for 20 to 27 days, okay, to come towards Indian territory. And the army was asked to pull back after it. It could not sustain the final leg of the battle. Finally, India won in this, okay. And actually, if you see this place, Walong is the easternmost town in our mainland of India. It is very important. Walong is the easternmost town in the mainland of India. It is located on the banks of river Lohit. Okay, so it is very important. And next article, it is about FAO report. So climate change impact harsher on poor farmers in India, says FAO report. So here there is a high chance of getting question on climate change and its impact. So if you are writing a point like how this climate change is impacting agriculture, how it is impacting the farmers, you can use this FAO report. So recently FAO report said because of climate change, it disproportionately having impact on poor farmers. Okay. So this article you can say from your GS paper 3 under environment and ecology, and even from GS paper 3 from economy, because in economy we have different sectors like agriculture sector, it's also called as primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. So in your economy you can connect this article with primary sector productivity, how the climate change is impacting. And next one here is, you can also connect this from society and social issues point of view, how this climate change is impacting society negatively. Okay. So these are the three subjects where we can interlink this topic with your syllabus. So what is the context? Context says that a report by FAO which highlights that climate change disproportionately affecting poorer farmers in India, and it is causing significant loss because of heat stress and because of floods in some area. Okay, so there are some structural inequalities in our country. So because of this structural inequalities, that is increasing this poor farmer vulnerability. And now this article is saying that not only the workers who are working in informal sector, in the service sector or like industry sector, but even we need to provide the social security measures for this agricultural laborers or small farmers or poorer farmers. So this is the thing which mainly said by this FAO report. And even whenever you're talking about social security, so yesterday's class, day before yesterday's class, we discussed about this social security measures for informal sectors, right? And gig workers or platform workers. There you can also add about this poor laborers. They also need the social security measures as per FAO report. Clear? How you have to connect the articles which we studied in our previous classes. So if you see the context, it says that, sorry, details says that, yes, these people are economically very vulnerable, especially poorer households. They face greater economic strain from climate-induced events, and that leads to the cycle of poverty. And especially whenever these people are economically vulnerable, means what happened? So even we can't attain this sustainable development because of this climate change. So here we have to identify how this climate change is decreasing this agricultural productivity, and we have to use this sensors. Okay, we have to use this sensors so that we can understand how this agricultural productivity is affected by this climate change and how it is mainly pushing these poorer farmers into the financial instability and how we can mitigate these risks. So on these areas now you have to focus. And not only that, what are the inequalities that are present in our society, like access to resources, access to proper education, and especially climate change is also making this poor farmers much more vulnerable. And here you can write about even AI based things, how we can use to increase our agriculture productivity, and how this AI research hubs, which we discussed in our class, how it is going to helpful this agriculture. We can connect this. And even recently we had one portal where farmers can directly approach the scientist. Yes or no? I think 15 days ago we discussed that. Yes, we had a portal where farmers, they can directly approach the scientist and they can identify which disease you are having in their crop and which medicine or which pesticides they have to use and which fertilizers they have to use. They can get the information directly from the scientist so that they can increase agricultural productivity. And not only that, this article is saying that we need some social protection schemes or programs, okay, so that we can reduce adverse effects on the vulnerable population, so that we can maintain the livelihood of these people, so that we can avoid falling deeper into the poverty. And this one here is, there are also gender challenges to facing, especially when we compare men and women. So women will be contributing more for agriculture. So from history onwards, so if you see from the primitive societies, the early man societies, so women, they participated in gathering of things, men only hunting. So because of this, women are very good in perception of colors, because green color means unripe, red or orange or yellow, they are ripe, right? But men are focused on only hunting part, so that what happened, they know the roots very well compared to that of women. So here in agriculture, mostly women will be contributing more. So women face unique barriers in accessing non-farm employment. So only in the farms they can do the work. Out of farms, so they are having very less skills and they are not getting employment in the non-farm areas. So here we have to focus on even skilling of women, training of women, so that we can ensure alternative employment for this women. And even we have to focus on policy enhancements as well. So we have to focus on even government action in providing social security nets, so that we can decrease the impact of climate change on rural communities. And what are the correct initiatives that we are having? So Niti Aayog also came up with these programs like NICRA, which shows that actively working on climate resilience. And we are focusing on climate resilient seeds as well. Okay, and even we are focusing on some inclusive approaches so that we can fully address these challenges in the future. Okay, so here one more idea you can add is how we can use science and technology to improve agriculture productivity, not apart from AI and machine learning. And there is one article here, see, abject failure, India's 2024 Global Hunger Index ranking is a matter of concern. So recently, Global Hunger Index has been released and India's rank is very, very low, even when we are comparing with our neighboring countries. So because of this is one cause of concern. So here, whenever you are seeing any index in news, you will be getting a very simple question like, so Global Hunger Index is in news released by which organization? So if you see every year, you will be getting at least one question regarding indices and which organization released. It is a very simple. You will be having not more than 20 to 25 indices in a year. So if you by heart them, then you can do that. Very easy. Okay, so here India's rank in this 2024 Global Hunger Index is 105 out of 127. So it is almost very low. Okay, and the category which is placed is serious category. That means, so this problem is very serious in our country. So here, what is this Global Hunger Index? It is a tool which we are using for measuring and tracking hunger at global level, regional level, and as well as national level. So which organization is releasing this? It is published by Concerned Worldwide. Okay, Concerned Worldwide and Wealth Hunger Life. Concerned Worldwide, it is a Irish organization, and Wealth Hunger is a German aid agency. So these two agencies, they will release this index every year. Okay, so what are the findings of this index? So this index is saying that, yes, globally across the world, score is 18.3. It is considered as moderate. It is considered as moderate. And actually, there is some very little progress that we can see in reducing of hunger since 2016 onwards. And we had a target of sustainable development goal, that is zero hunger. So by what is the year, targeted year, that is 2030. So this article is saying that it is very difficult to achieve this sustainable development goal of zero hunger. Target date is 2030. We need to take lot of steps, especially 43 countries across the world, they are placed in this category of serious hunger under this index. So especially these countries need to take proper steps to achieve this aim of sustainable development goal of zero hunger. And actually, what is the important reason for increasing of hunger? So if you see globally, global geopolitical tensions are happening. For example, Israel war, Sudan war, and as well as Russia-Ukraine crisis. So they led to exceptional food crisis now. And not only that, Somalia, Yemen, Chad, Madagascar. So these are the countries they are having highest 2024 GHI scores. So those countries are having extreme hunger. And next one here is Bangladesh, Mozambique, Nepal, Somalia, Togo. So those countries are also having their own challenges. And India's performance is also very concerning now. India is placed in the serious category. And when we are comparing with our neighbors in our South Asian countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, so India's rank is below these countries. It is also one cause of concern now for our country. So they are placed in moderate, but India's ranking is in severe category. So what are the recommendations given by this report? This report is saying that we have to strengthen our accountability to international law, and we have to ensure this right to food for sure. And next one is we have to promote gender transformative approach in climate and food policies. And we have to especially invest in this gender, climate, and as well as food justice so that we can ensure proper resources so that we can address this problem of inequalities in our country. And see here, so this GHI, it is calculated based on these four criteria. First one is undernourishment. Undernourishment is nothing but the population who is taking less calories than the required amount. That is called as undernourishment. And next one is stunting of child. Stunting is nothing but the height of child per age is very low. And next one is child wasting. That means to age, what should be the weight? That weight will be not maintained by the children, so weight is less. That is called as child wasting. And next one is child mortality. Child mortality is nothing but before 5 years of age, how many children they are dying. That is called as child mortality. So based on these four things, this report will be released. So what are the issues which mainly said in this index is, yes, we had sustainable development goal 2, that is zero hunger by 2030. So it is very, very difficult, especially for the 42 countries which are placed in this category of serious to achieve this target. And in that, India is also present. Remember that. And next one is gender disparity. Women are particularly vulnerable to food insecurity due to discriminatory norms. That means every boy or every male in the house should consume the food first, later on whatever that is left behind, that should be taken by the women. So this is the discriminatory norms that we see in our society that is still persistent in the rural areas and in some tribal groups. So we should come out of these discriminatory norms. And next one is violence against women, and women do not have proper access to the resources. So we have to come out of that. And next one important reason which said is, so whenever women they are having malnutrition, that will be carried on to the next generation. So here you can see the indicators. We have child mortality, we have child stunting and child wasting. So why it is happening? If mother is not strong enough, obviously children will be not strong enough. So this is the one important reason why we have to focus on women and women health. And next one is, what are the underlying causes of hunger? Because of climate change, there is decreasing of productivity and even environment degradation is happening. So because of this, food production is decreasing and there are threats to our economies which are based on agriculture especially. And next one here is armed conflicts. Okay, like for example, Israel-Gaza issue, or you can take issue between Russia and Ukraine. You can take the issues between Sudan, and always some areas where there are conflicts will be going on. For example, Armenia and Azerbaijan region. So because of all these conflicts, what happened? There will be displacement, disruption in the food system. And this one is especially lower income countries, they will be struggling with even debt. That is nothing but they are borrow from other countries. If they are borrowing, they have to pay interest, right? So here they will be always diverting funds for giving interest rather than focusing on the development of that so and so country. Okay, they will be not focusing on the social sector schemes like providing education, health, food, etc. So this is also one important reason, especially there is these countries, low income countries are placed in this severe category. And if you say from India point of view, we have to focus on effective policy interventions. So in this effective policy interventions, where exactly we have to focus? The first one is ensuring of food security. Like we have to ensure access to the nutritious food in all segments of population. It is very essential now. So now we should not focus only on children, only on like newborn, or only on this neonates or like that. So we have to focus on each and every section of society. So as of now, we have midday meals, which is focusing on providing of nutritious food for school going. And under Anganwadis, especially pregnant and lactating women, they will be getting at least food and eggs and milk. So we have to focus on each and every section of population now. And not only that, we have to focus on improving of healthcare access. So if you are providing healthcare access, can we decrease this child mortality? Yes, right? So we have to focus on child care access, and we have to focus on maternal and child health outcomes as well. And next one here is we have to focus on maternal and child nutrition programs so that we can address this problem of cycle of malnutrition. If mother is malnourished, obviously children will be malnourished. So we have to break this cycle of malnourishment so that we can improve our ranking in this global hunger index. And next one here is, already there are some initiatives of government of India like National Food Security Act, portion schemes. So there are some loopholes or leakages in this scheme. So we have to focus on eliminating those leakages in this scheme. Okay, so these are the some important things. And the same thing, global hunger index. So these are the very important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching, and please do like this class if you really like this class, and do share this video to your friends, and please do subscribe to Rathods Science Academy. Thank you so much for watching guys.